Hi, my book that I feel is important for librarians to be familiar with is Parrots over Puerto Rico, written by Susan Roth and Cindy Trembore. The illustrations were paper and fabric collages by Susan Roth. So I was definitely drawn to the colors of this book. The blues and the greens are very vivid, and Susan Roth's use of the paper and fabric collage actually provided a lot of texture to the parrots. And by having this book being read vertically, you kind of follow the birds as they're flying through. You're able to see a distinction between how high the parrots were up in the tree compared with the settlers. At one point, there was even a waterfall, and so you get a sense of the waterfall cascading by having it over 2 pages. So there is actually 2 stories that are within this book. So the first is the history of Puerto Rico. It tells of the parrots living on the island first, and then finally settlers coming into Puerto Rico. And then the story goes on to tell of other people from Spain, Africa, and Europe settling into Puerto Rico. And then finally, Puerto Rico becoming a territory of the United States and the Puerto Ricans becoming American citizens. So there are a lot of opportunities to discuss the colonization of Puerto Rico, possibility of statehood, or maybe not statehood. The other story deals with the ramifications of the development of Puerto Rico. So as centuries passed and new people built into the rainforest of Puerto Rico, the flock of Puerto Rican parrots became nearly extinct. So there was about 13 at one point in the wild. So the remainder of the story talks about the efforts to repopulate the Puerto Rican parrots and where they're at now. And finally, at the end of the story, there is an author's note regarding the actual breeding and captivity and the release of the parrots into the wild. There's actual pictures of that process. There's also a history timeline as well that can be used to discuss with children as going through this story. So this is actually great for all elementary age levels. So it's not only engaging story in itself, but provides some historical and environmental discussions.